All right, welcome back. So I have my sprite on my screen. I want to try to place it in other places instead of right in the middle here. So what I'll do is I'm going to do this at the global scale because I don't need to update the position right now. I just want to set it initially. So now if I type happy sprite, since it's established as a sprite, it has some built-in functionality as well. And one of those things we can use is set x and set y, or actually, sorry, set position is what they use in this. So we're going to use set position, and then it's going to want x and y values. Let's try putting 0 and 0, like that. I actually don't even have to save the file, it automatically updates. Interesting, so 0, 0 puts it all the way up here. And you can see that it actually places it, like the center of it, wherever that is. It doesn't place the upper left corner, it places the center of this. So what if I want it to be in the upper left corner, but not pushed off the screen? Well, I need to set it to whatever, like let's say I set it to, we know the width of this is 16 and the height is 16. If we set it to 16, 16, it's not quite gonna do what we want. It's gonna put it a little bit further down. And the reason it is because now the center is at 16, 16. So we want the center to be kind of halfway and halfway. So the actual center for putting it on the edge of the screen is 8. Sorry, for putting in the upper left corner is 8, 8. Now it's exactly flush with that. However, this is not the best way to do this. And the problem with doing it this way is, what if I use a sprite that's a different size? What if it has not the same height and width? What if it's a totally different size? Well, I want this to be dynamic. So what is 8 equivalent to? Well, 8 is equivalent to half of our height and half of our width. So we know that that's going to be, we need to place it at half of the height and half of the width. So what we can do is happy sprite dot, sorry, let me clarify this. It's x first and y second. X is the horizontal position and y is the vertical position. So the first one's going to be the x, which is going to be happy sprite dot, and we can actually get the height and the width here as well. So we have the height and the width. So I'm just going to type w, width divided by 2, and we'll do happy sprite dot width or dot height divided by 2. Now this is still 8, 8, right? This is still 8, 8, but if we had a 32 by 32 image, it would be 16, 16. If we had a 16 by 32, then it would be 8, 16. So it would just definitely place it in the upper left corner here. What if I want to place it down in the bottom here? Well, let's comment this out. Actually, let's copy this and paste it so we can figure this out. Okay, so in order to place it, well, instead of placing it here, we want to place it down here. Where is this though? Well, I told you before that this is 160 wide by 120 tall. So we know that, but let's do this dynamically. What if we have this on a different device somehow that has a different screen size? Well, let's use the screen size as our positioning thing here. So what I'm going to do first, let's delete this out. And then we're going to say screen dot width, screen dot height. And now it puts it down in this corner. And we can even see that down here by going console log screen dot width. And we'll see down here we get 160. If I put dot height, we get 120. So this is more dynamic, but I want it to be the same as before, where it's just flush with the edge but not over the edge. So what do I have to do here? This is kind of tricky, right? How do I get it so that it's pushing onto the edge but not over the edge? You have any ideas? Well, what I would do is the same thing here. I'm going to grab this happy sprite width divided by 2. I'll just copy that. And I need to subtract that from here. You see, screen.width is 160. Happy sprite.width divided by 2 is 8. So now instead of 160, it's 152. Now I do the same thing here. Minus And there we go. It's right there on the edge of the screen. And no matter what the screen size is, no matter what the sprite size is, it should be right there, perfectly flush. So I hope this kind of makes sense. The other important thing is that our program, in all coding generally, it respects the order of operations, which means even though this minus is before the division applies first. So this division is done first before the subtraction. It goes, PEMDAS. So our division is done before subtraction. Same with here. If you're really concerned about that, though, if you forget your order of operations, you can always wrap this in parentheses and it'll do the same thing. It'll accomplish the same exact thing. It's not necessary, though, because we know our order of operations, so we know that this is going to work. So if we want to place it here, we go here. If we want to place it down here, we do this one. What if we just want to place it center? I know it does it by default, but what if we were to want to place it in the center manually? Well, we could do that. How do we do that, though? Well, all we have to do, because we know it's based on the center of this, all we have to do is divide our screen width by 2 and our screen height by 2. So if I just type that, that places it right in the center of the screen. It doesn't push it off to the side at all. It just places it perfectly in the center because the center of our sprite is that point. This is set at 80 x and 60 y, so it places it in the center. So that's how we can set the position of our sprite.